Basilan, and Zamboanga. To learn more about one of our country's remarkable indigenous group, the Yakan people. With me today is Leona, a proud Yakan who will share her culture, history, and how her community continues to thrive in modern times. Leona, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jen. I'm really happy to be here and to share a piece of my culture to all of you.
Let's start with something personal, Leona. What does being Yakan mean to you?
For me, being Yakan is carrying forward the traditions of my ancestors. It's more than just an identity. It's a way of life that connects me to our language, our living, our faith, and most importantly, our land.
That's beautiful. I can already feel how deeply connected identity is with heritage. It's not just a label, it's really a living practice, right?
Exactly. Being Yakan means being part of a culture that adapts but never forgets its roots.
Yakan refers to the majority Muslim group in Basilan, an island province just south of Zamboanga Peninsula. Basilan may mean the waterway into the sea, or may derive from the Yakan word for the way to the iron, because of the presence of minerals in the island.
For our listeners who might not know much about your community, can you tell us about the history and origin of the Yakan?
The Yakans are native to Basilan Islands, though some of us also settled in Zamboanga and nearby areas. We speak the Yakan language that unique to us. Historically, we live in land, farming, weaving, and surviving off the land. Our distance from colonial centers allowed us to keep many traditions intact.
The Yakan community. Sovereignty in the Yakan community is believed to emanate from Allah. A traditional Yakan community is ruled by law made by the people as well as the Sharia or God's law. The Yakan believe that the consensus of the people must be achieved in the formulation of laws that should also be consistent with Islamic tenets.
That's really interesting. So, while many groups were heavily influenced by colonization, the Yakans were able to hold on strongly on their tradition because of your location.
Yes, exactly. Though, of course, over the time, outside influence is still reach us.
Let's dive into your culture. Could you describe more about your language, arts, and beliefs?
Our language is the heart of our identity. We also have weaving, which is world-renowned. Using abaca and pineapple fibers, we create bold patterns with cultural meanings. Most Yakans are Muslims, but all their traditions emphasize harmony with nature.
Yakan culture, customs, and traditions. The traditional classes of Yakan society still exist today, except for the slave class, which was abolished when the Moro province was created by the American colonizers. Today, there are Datu, Pakir, and the common Tao. The Tarsila or genealogies of sultanates in Mindanao and Sulu trace those leaders who truly belong to the royalty. This is politically important since a Datu to qualify as Sultan must have parents of royal blood.
Wow, I've actually seen Yakan swimming in Zamboanga's Yakan village. So colorful and intricate. Can you share one example of pattern and its meaning?
Yes, one example is the Pinagong Door, which has diamond-shaped pattern that symbolizes balance and protection.
Yakan tribe clothing. The basic garment for men and women consists of tight-fitting shirt called baju and tight-fitting trousers called sawal. The yakan have pagpene, used repeatedly in all their visual arts and crafts. The pasuk labung is a sawtooth design used for cloth baskets and crease. The bunga sama used for table runners, monuments for deads, and trunks. It is a symmetrical design made for rectangular figures. The kaban budi is a set of triangles, squares, and other geometric shapes used for cushions, pillows, casings, mat, and hats.
That's amazing. It shows that weaving isn't just craft, it's storytelling in public. You mentioned land earlier. What role does land play in your community? And how are Yakans traditionally lived?
Land is everything. It's where we gather food, farm, and place rituals. Without land, we lose our identity. As for leadership, elders and respected leaders lead us, focusing on collective well-being.
The Yakan are basically agriculturists whose products include rice, coconut, cassava, abaca, lonjones, cacao, and corn. The farm knife that they use for cutting and digging is the duhong, which has a sharp blade that widens from the handle towards its pointed end.
So land is not just property. It's the foundation of cultures, and leadership isn't about power, but about wisdom and service.
Yes,
Culture is never static. How has Yakan culture changed over the years?
colonization, modernization, and migration have changed us. Some younger Yakans no longer speak the language of faith. Conflict in Basilan also disrupted us.
That sounds challenging. Would you say that despite these struggles, there's still a strong will to keep tradition alive?
Yes, absolutely. Weaving schools and cultural festivals and even social media help us the culture alive. Organizations also support indigenous rights and land protection.
That's inspiring. It's like using both old ways and modern tools to keep your heritage strong. If you could look 20 or 30 years into the future, what are your hopes for the Yakan people?
That our language is still spoken, weaving continues, and the land remains protected.
I really admire that. It's a hope for survival, but also for flourishing as people. What misconception do people often have about the Yakans?
That we're primitive or only part of the past. In truth, we're modern but still deeply rooted in tradition.
That's such as an important point. And how can outsiders like us support your community?
Learn about us, buy authentic Yakan weave, and respect our rights.
Listeners, you heard it. Support doesn't always mean big acts. Sometimes it's simply choosing to learn and respect. Hello everyone, welcome back to Philippine Echoes. I am Jen, your host. And today we'll be talking about one of the major ethnic group of Basilan, the Yakan people. They're often known for their colorful tradition, but today we'll focus on their education, family life, and the values that guide them. To help us, we have Diona as our guest. Hi Diona!
Hi Jen, I'm happy to be here and share about the Yakans because there's so much more to their identity beyond what most people know.
So, let's start with education. How do the Yakan see it?
Education is very important to the Yakan families, but access has always been a challenge. Some children live far from schools, and poverty sometimes forces them to stop studying. Still, parents encourage their children to keep learning. They see education not just as a way to improve their future, but also a way to uplift the whole community. What's also beautiful is that learning doesn't stop at school. Children are also taught values like respect, disciplines, and faith at home.
Yeah, exactly. And how about family life? What role does it play in their community?
Family is the center of Yakan life. Children are raised to help their parents and respect their elders. Kinship ties like close relationship with relatives. Kinship ties like close relations with relatives strengthen their unity, and everyone has responsibilities. And the family is always prioritized. For Yakans, a strong family means a strong community.
Alright, what about their values? What keeps the community strong?
The Yakans are mostly Muslims, and Islam is the central of their way of life. Their faith shapes their daily routines, celebrations, and decisions. Alongside religion, they value peace, respect, and hospitality. From a young age, children are taught to be respectful, to maintain harmony, and to treat others with kindness. These values are what makes their community united and resilient.
Okay, like many groups, the Yakan face challenges. What are some of them?
They face poverty, limited access to education, and sometimes conflict in the area. But despite these struggles, they remain resilient. They continue sending their children to school when possible, practicing their faith, and holding onto family values. Their resilience is a reflection of their hope and determination.
Thank you, Diona, for sharing with us. The Yakans truly show us that culture is not only about tradition, but also about values and strength in the face of challenges.
Exactly, Jan. Their focus on education, family, and faith proves that even in hardship, values can guide a community to endure and thrive.
Earlier, we talked about the Yakans people, education, family life, and values. But there's still so much more to know about them. For this next part, let's continue our conversation with Diona. Diona, can you tell us more about their identity as an ethnic group?
Sure, Jen. The Yakans are one of the major indigenous groups in Basilan, and they take great pride in their heritage. They have their own language, also called Yakan, which is different from Tausug or Chavacano. However, many Yakans today are bilingual or even trilingual. They speak Yakan at home, but they also use Tausug, Chavacano, or Filipino when dealing with people outside their community. This ability to adapt in language shows how they balance preserving tradition while connecting to others.
That's inspiring. It's clear that education isn't just about books. It's also about culture and values. Speaking of values, how do the Yakan family raise their children?
Family is very central to our way of life. Children are taught to respect their elders, to be honest, and to contribute to the community. It's normal for us to share responsibilities at home. Elders pass down wisdom, and younger members are expected to learn and listen. Strong family ties make our community united.
Okay, I'm very curious about their language. How do the Yakan speak?
The Yakans have their own language called Yakan, or sometimes Basilan Yakan. It's part of the Austronesian language family. What's interesting is that many Yakans today are also multilingual. They can speak Tausog, Chavacano, and Filipino. Younger generations even speak English. So while they keep their native tongue, they've also adapted to communicate with others. Their language is one way to preserve their identity.
Okay, that's amazing. Let's move on to their homes and communities. How they are set up.
Yakan houses are built on stilts, usually made of bamboo and wood. These designs help them stay cool in the tropical climate and safe from flooding. Houses are often close to each other, which reflects their sense of unity. Living near relatives strengthens their family ties since they're always ready to help one another.
Alright. What about their celebration? What events are important to them?
The Yakan celebrate major Islamic holidays like Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, but they just also have meaningful family celebrations like weddings. Weddings are not just about two people, but about connecting families and strengthening community ties. These are rituals, feasts, and gatherings that show their deep respect for tradition and togetherness.
Thank you again, Diona. From this, we see that the Yakan are not only proud of their heritage, but also forward-looking, especially their youth who are bridging tradition and modern life.
Yes, Jen, their language, identity, and commitment to peace all show us that culture is living. It grows and adapts while staying rooted in values. The Yakans reminded us to embrace both where we came from and where we're heading.
And that brings us to the end of this extended episode about the Yakan people. Thank you for listening, and may we continue to celebrate and respect the diverse cultures that make our nation. Thank you, Diana. You've been listening Philippine Echoes. As the echoes fade from this episode, we hope you find inspiration, insight, or deeper connection to the heart of the Philippines. We understand cultural history, ethnicity, and how it changed over time. Thank you for joining us, Philippine Echoes. Don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts, and tune in next time as we continue to amplify the story that resonates across our islands. Until then, keep listening, keep learning, and keep Echoes alive. We love sharing these stories with you. If you enjoy what you heard, please rate us, leave a review, and tell your friends. Your supports help us bring more incredible Filipino narratives to life. Be sure to catch our next episode. Find us whenever you get your podcast. From all of us here, thank you for tuning in.